but I need less volume if I'm in the right place. See, that's the pressure, but he's still got his mind. You notice the difference? But when I go to his intent, he loses his mind. Conductive pathway, as well as infinite potential. So for example, say he's got a certain amount of pressure here. I have to equalize that pressure for it to stop affecting me, right? If I have less, it's going to affect him partially, right? If I equalize with it, he can't perceive my structure. Does that make sense? So now when we use letter U or a vacuous quality, the vacuum has to equalize the pressure here, right? It has to be the same amount of emptiness. If it's any less, it'll only have a partial effect. It's like, oh, why isn't it working? Right? Does that make sense? When you're troubleshooting, it's like, why isn't it working? I'm only getting partial effect because it's either the volume aspect or you're not on the right frequency. So when he's putting pressure here, there's the pressure that I'm sensing, but it's also his intent to produce the pressure. So if I go to the intent that he's producing the pressure, right, that destabilizes him a bit more because I'm going to the causal principle. Or if I just go to the, see, that's the pressure, but he's still got his mind. You notice the difference? But when I go to his intent, he loses his mind. No, well, his mind is here. His mind is grounding through me. So if I put a vacuum in where his mind is grounded through, then I can pull his intent or his balance through that, right? So there's more precision in what you're doing, right? But let's say we're in this position and I'm not tuning into him, but I'm creating a vacuous quality. I'm paying attention to it, and it's only partially affecting him. But I've got more volume, right? But I need less volume if I'm in the right place. That's right, yeah. Because like, where is his intent? It's grounding through my structure, through my back leg and through my frame. If I take that away, yeah, as long as he keeps that line, I'll continue to affect him. But as soon as he disconnects from that line, he'll get his mind back or his balance back, right? So when someone does that, I keep it there, yeah? Because I can feel them, oh, I want to regain balance, but I'm like, nah, I got it, yeah? And you'll have success in different degrees with this, depending on the person's nature, their matrices, and your relationship to them, and all that kind of stuff. How open they are, your ability to open them. So the Vacuity model is like the highest model when it comes to like the Tai Chi and partner work, right? And once you understand that, now when you bridge it over to Hermetics practice, it's going to have a lot more effect there as well. Because out of the vacuum, you're pulling information and energy out as a conductive pathway, as well as infinite potential for anything you're doing. Any of the, if you want to master the exercises, there's that. But if you want to bring things into form, take things out of form, the more vacuous will you have, the easier it's going to be. Yeah, and the effectiveness of that Kabbalah letter is also how empty you are in terms of you're not mixing, it's not going through your filters. So there's 4 points of contact here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So he's grounding out through these 4 points. So I could use any one of those. So that's the elbow, or through this point here, through that point. So any one of those points is like where his mind is linked. So I ankle that and I pull it through. So what I'm doing is I'm being precise on his intent, yeah? And that's why I need less volume. Say for example, I empty out this place here, right? But if I just empty out, it's affecting him partially. But I empty out with the connection of his mind. So this is what I mean by what frequency are you doing it through? So just emptiness has some effect, but if you're emptying out on a specific effect, that's what you're going to get. So from what we're doing from the Kabbalah work, when you create the vacuum, you're pulling a certain frequency down, say letter A. Is it for insight? Is it for clarity? What is it? So the more clear you have in terms of perception of what you want to affect or the outcome, the more likely it's going to happen. Remove any filters that you have of reality, right? And then you do psychometry. So mental transference becomes a lot easier into transferring into these frequencies. And they're like, this is the spectrum of things that it does. You get that insight. But if you do it from your own filter, you're mixing and it's not going to be clean. So in that way, you can also use this. Does that make sense? But the partner exercise gives you like, I know exactly where to put this and bridge it across. Otherwise you're kind of imagining things. Yeah. So you have to enter into stillness. You have to have a vacuous mind to enter into akasha. And you get that sensitivity when you surrender, which is vacuity, right? And it feels like this, it does this. Yeah. But if you don't have that, then you're putting your filters on it. He's got, say, 5 pounds of pressure, 5 kilos of pressure here. I have to have 5 kilos of vacuum underneath it to affect it. Be precise on the outcome that you want. From the letter, from anything. Have a precision. So when we're doing this, I'm having a precision, like I want to affect his balance, and that's what I go. So if Sean creates a vacuity quality in any one of those 4 points, right? And he's like, so where did you do that? In my balance or in the structure?
In the intention and the connection.
Okay. So there's a measurement for this, right? It's like, how much of the balance and how much of the the force are you connecting to? If it's just purely on the balance, right? This is where I can't ground out. It's like, there's a disruption in my mental matrix. Whereas if it was like just on the structure, it's taking me, but I've still got my mind in a sense. You know what I mean? I can ground out if I wanted to. But if you go straight to the balance, then it takes a lot longer for you to ground out. Yeah. And the reason why we're learning this is once you learn how to do to someone else, then you reverse and do it to yourself. Right? So you create this place where you don't have a reference of your identity and your body, and you surrender to these higher frequencies, then you can do psychometry a lot easier. Yeah? Does that make sense? Everything I'm doing here on him, I can do it to myself by letting higher frequencies regulate me, letting the higher part of my mind regulate me. That's the major benefit of doing this.